Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast, and today we have Game 2 of the Losers Finals bracket from Boilerfrag 4.0. This is EndlessWaltz versus Mokomi, so let's go ahead and introduce where the players have spawned. Up here in the top side, the top left-hand side of Antigua Shipyard, we have the Zerg player. He is down 0 and 1. Hopefully that's not a spoiler if you remembered to go ahead and watch Game 1 first. We have the Teal Zerg, EndlessWaltz. But once again, his drones are going to endlessly waltz. Ken Mokomi down here in the bottom right-hand corner, spawning as the blue Protoss. Stop EndlessWaltz's waltzing as he did in the last game, especially with that hatchery and all of those other things that probe initially on was blocking and being so annoying about, as he just wanted a dance partner. I can sympathize with that. It's very hard. I've gone to swing classes and it's very, very disappointing when you do not have a partner. Oh, you feel so lonely, and all you want to do is ruin the lives of others when you are lonely. So Mokomi likely going to be looking to do that again, as he is going to be planting that pylon over here for that Forge Fast Expand once again. We saw in the last game Mokomi going for a pretty economic style game, as did EndlessWaltz, jumping up to a massive drone count. But in that final engagement that EndlessWaltz moved across the map for with those Broodlords, he ended up just not really throwing down the Fungals. His Zerglings were on hold position while his Broodlords were getting picked off, and the blink forward from Mokomi's Stalkers really just killed off most of the army for EndlessWaltz. And Mokomi, playing very smart, just did not give EndlessWaltz enough time to remax and really deal with his massive army. So let's see if the same thing happens again. This probe, it must be the same probe from the last game, as he is still a very, very angry person. Or robot. I guess his robot just wants to learn how to dance. Nobody ever taught it to him. Nobody ever programmed him to dance. But meanwhile, we do see the Nexus going up. So very similar builds to last game, where we see that Nexus down first and the Forge following. So Mokomi going to be taking a little bit of a risk. Ooh, actually a cancel on that pylon and a replanting of it down. So eventually, as long as Mokomi does not do this 4 times, he will actually end up saving money by doing this. So we'll have to see if he continues to do this. Where is that probe? He just disappeared. Oh, looks like he's gone over to the third, so he might actually... Oh, no, does not let that finish. Is going to go ahead and just block the third at this point, as there are Zerglings out now on the map. And this time, actually, EndlessWaltz opted to get that Gas Geyser. So I was talking the last game about how that Gas Geyser can be very important for warding off any kind of early Stalker aggression. Now, we didn't see that Stalker aggression in the last game, but still, the Zerglings are definitely a lot better at controlling the map, even picking off those pesky little probes like this one, when they do have that speed research. But it looks like for now, EndlessWaltz might actually have just been doing a bit of a... No, it looks like Mokomi did not scout that Gas Geyser, but only now is EndlessWaltz starting to mine that gas. A very interesting decision. I hope that was not, in fact, a mistake on his part. But anyways, we do see this probe going ahead and scouting that third one last time. Just wants to see if EndlessWaltz does decide to take a very early third, see how long he can survive, as, you know, that the timing of the third is very important in this matchup. Mokomi can basically be scouting a lot of all-ins if he sees that third is not taken. But we do see that third taken much earlier than in comparison to the last game, where that third was pylon blocked and all kinds of other shenanigans happened from that early initial probe. Meanwhile, it does look like Mokomi, it does have this expansion up now, so he will start mining from it in just a little bit. Likely going to be doing a bit of a probe transfer, I would imagine, in not too far from now. But we also do not see any upgrades going down for Mokomi just quite yet. We're going to see if he does decide to do that maybe a little bit after he starts that Warp Gate technology, as the Warp Gate technology is very important to every Protoss. And look at where the Zealot is rallied. Where is it rallied to? Looks like it's going to be all the way to... Nope. It looks like he changed the rally point at the last second on us. But this Zealot is going to go ahead and put on a little bit of aggression, and considering that these Zerglings will not have Zergling speed, he will be able to do a good amount of damage if he does decide to do some nice little micro. He will at least be able to kill off this Zergling or gain control of the Watchtower, depending on how much attention EndlessWaltz is paying. But it looks like EndlessWaltz is not really caring too much about that Zergling. That poor little Zergling, just another one of 3, I guess. But still, 3 Zerglings is much greater than 1, so he did not kill off 100% of those Zerglings. This Zealot definitely in boss mode right now, just deciding, hey, I can kill the whole army. I just killed 2 Zerglings. How many more can there be? It looks like 2 more Zerglings gonna pop from over here, and they will likely be rallied over here to deal with the Zealot. The Zealot will actually have a nice surface area, but we do see a Roach Warren down as well. We also see a couple gateways being thrown up. And it looks like this Zealot is actually going to get some really nice damage off as he is getting into some great positions. He's going to get at least 4 kills, maybe 5. Nope, no 5th kill for that Zealot. He was not as much boss mode as he may have thought, but he did force a good amount of Zerglings from EndlessWaltz. So always worth it to do that kind of early aggression, as forcing any Zerglings does mean that those are not drones, and EndlessWaltz definitely wants to make as many drones as he can. You can see here, he is only making drones now, starting that layer tech and getting those missile attack upgrades. So probably not going to be seeing that same style he went for in the last game, where he opens up with Zergling and Mutalisks. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some roaches being produced, as he did also get that Roach Warren. A very important part of going for that Roach tech is getting the Roach Warren, as it's kind of hard to go for a Roach play without roaches. But we do see Mokomi gearing up to just play a little bit defensive for now. He does have quite a few warp gates started now, and he also has that robotics facility on the way. But mainly he's getting those sentries nice and early on, so that he will have them building up energy during this entire time, so that he'll have additional force field. A very smart play, very standard for a Protoss player to do. We also see that I keep calling it a Citadel of a Dune, but it is in fact a Twilight Council. Twilight Council already going down, so he will be a little bit more prepared for any potential Mutalisk play, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that Mutalisk play once again. The Roach Warren was thrown down, and we do see that EndlessWaltz is doing pretty well in the worker count. We see that he is only producing a couple of units, now actually gearing up to put on maybe some aggression, or maybe even just deal with a potential push from Mokomi. Let's see how much EndlessWaltz has actually seen. He did see a couple of these gateways, did not see the robotics facility or the Twilight Council. But he might just be preparing for a little bit of aggression of his own. He is also researching that burrow, so the burrow going to be very, very important if Mokomi did not decide to get that observer. He is getting that observer, of course, right now, but you can cause so much pain and suffering to a Protoss player if they do not get that observer. And you get the burrow because you can just sit there and regenerate your health on your roaches and then pop out, start doing all kinds of crazy burrow harassment. But anyways, we do see Mokomi going for that 3rd base now, so he's looking to match EndlessWaltz. Generally, the way that I like to think of Protoss versus Zerg is that if the Protoss does not take a 3rd by a certain point, he has to do a massive amount of damage before he tries to take his 3rd, as it can be very difficult to take your 3rd after a certain point. But if you take it early enough, you will have that economy to boost out the kind of tech that you need to deal with any kind of multi-pronged harassment from the Zerg player. And we do see EndlessWaltz moving across the map with just a few of his units. He is producing just units right now. He is also making that macro hatchery somewhere. Here it is. So he will be looking to put on a lot of aggression right after this, once he gears up and gets a lot of those units. He also has that roach speed, which is very, very useful in this matchup. And actually, just whenever you get roaches, it's so important to get that roach speed, as otherwise they move so gosh darn slow. Now, in terms of upgrades, let's see. It looks like Mokomi is going to be finishing up that +2 weapons, which is going to be very useful. +1 missile attacks already finished for EndlessWaltz, so it's going to be a pretty even upgrade advantage for both of these players. And it looks like EndlessWaltz massively up in supply, but those are a lot of roaches which eat up a lot of supply. It looks like EndlessWaltz looking to go up to the 3rd, just deciding not to, just barely getting not force fielded in half. And now it looks like EndlessWaltz moving in. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. He should be focused firing down this Immortal. That Immortal does a massive amount of damage. He is now killing it off. The Immortal is down, and the force fields are starting to expire. There are still few force fields left, so EndlessWaltz has to be very careful about moving up into that base. Now there is this 3rd, but it is defended by quite a few cannons, and if he's not careful, he will be force fielded in half, as we almost saw before. So Mokomi could have to be very careful about how he just decide to force field, and EndlessWaltz has to be very careful about deciding where he does engage. And it looks like EndlessWaltz gets all the way up into the 3rd of Mokomi. He's going to be able to do a massive amount of damage, depowering the pylon, now getting some of his units cut in half, so he will be able to lose a lot of these roaches if he is not careful. Looks like now he's just going to go for it and try and kill off the immortal that is left over, and he's going to do as much damage as he can with these roaches. Now, +2 missile weapons is going to finish right as all of these roaches do end up dying. +2 weapons already finished for Mokomi during the middle of that battle, but the reinforcements are coming in, and they are going to be able to do a massive amount of damage to these stalkers. They're getting a pretty decent concave, but the blink has finished for Mokomi, so he's going to do some good blink micro. Has a very nice position back here in the corner, but it looks like EndlessWaltz is going to continue to reinforce this. He's producing additional roaches, doing a massive amount of damage. Let's go ahead and take a look at the worker count. It looks like the worker count is actually not too bad for either of these players, but for right now, the very, very scary thing is that EndlessWaltz has so many roaches, and oh my god, if he gets this Colossus, that could be such a huge win. But it looks like Mokomi doing a very good job delaying these roaches from really being able to come in and pick off that Colossus. Now the Colossus raking up in all of the kills, and meanwhile, at the same time, the roaches just trying to kill off the third. If he can kill off the third, he will still be in a great position. Meanwhile, at the same time, he is also taking the gold expansion, so he will benefit if he can even kill off all of Mokomi's army, but it looks like he does get the third. He's killed off a lot of Mokomi's army, so Mokomi going to be looking to be in a very poor position. We can already see here now a couple of probes have gone down. Whoops. We do see that 22 workers killed for EndlessWaltz, so that means Mokomi is going to be feeling a bit of pain at this point now. Now, Mokomi does have a pretty decent worker count, considering he is on 2 bases. But he still has to be very careful in this game. He's going to be a bit behind, and by a bit, I mean quite a bit. He's going to be producing that War Prism, and I do like this play. When you're behind, you have to do something. You need to do something, take some kind of risk, put on some kind of aggression if you want to come back in the game. And we do see some very good force fields going to be able to do a lot of damage to those. Oh my god, where's the Observer? The Observer, this is exactly what I was talking about. If a Protoss player does not have that Observer with him, where is that Observer? It's over here, it's so far away, but that means that the Zerg player can do so much damage, and the roaches coming in, they pick off a Colossus, bring down half the health of the other Colossus, and they will be able to snipe off this expansion, and that's definitely going to hurt so badly for Mokomi. They managed to pick off the other remaining Colossus, and I think that Mokomi is going to have to GG out of this game eventually, as EndlessWaltz is already going to have this third up. He's going to start mining from it. His reinforcements alone are going to cause trouble for EndlessWaltz. I'm not sure how much else he can do. It looks like there's the GG for Mokomi, so that ties the series up 1-1. Let's see in Game 3 if Mokomi or EndlessWaltz will take this series. The winner does advance to face the loser of the winners finals, and then potentially have a chance to go on to the grand finals of Boilerfrag 4.0. Please tune in to the next game. I should have another thing somewhere on this screen, maybe around here, that should link to Game 3. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys in Game 3.